Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. Newspaper review is next on Good Morning Nigeria.
All right, it's my pleasure to welcome Chukwudi Ubaja this Workers' Day. Chukwudi, I greet you.
It is my pleasure to accept the goodwill. Hello, Claire. How are you?
Well, as you can see, good news is emanating from our side and from the government side.
Yes.
And today is Workers' Day.
Yes.
Yes, and
so you're beaming from ear to ear. That's okay.
She's excited.
Demola. And she should,
look at Demola himself. See the way he's turned out today.
anyone that hears anything close to now go get more money, the person should be, because the marketplace now is a bedlam. So I understand.
Well, it comes with its own other,
Naturally.
challenges as well.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
But at least it's just to show that government,
Is listening and
Oh, yes.
and understands.
Yes.
When you have a government with a listening ear.
Anytime I come here and say the president is a non-negotiator, I knew what I was talking about, right from, when we were in Lagos, he was governor of Lagos State. His body language always...
Where were you in Lagos?
I worked for MBI then. I was on the Abuja access.
Okay.
In those days when people were still respectful. And if an old woman did not have a seat on the Molue, you stood up for her. Not anymore.
Actually, your base then was in Maturi.
Maturi. You're
Yes.
talking about the workplace. It was Maturi, number 32.
Maturi, in the
Close
heart, in
to
the
that
heart.
Ladipo market. Look, we had a good time.
Can we start the newspaper before you people go down the memory
We should
lane
end the
now?
gossip.
You started it. All right. So let me quickly start with the Nigerian Tribune. And of course, all the papers we have this morning, you know what the lead story will be. It is the approval of the salary increase for civil servants between 25 and 35%, and the new structure to affect workers on remaining 6 consolidated salary structure. And of course, the implementation of these is to take effect from January 2024. And the Nigerian Tribune has quite a number of interesting stories this morning on the front page. Just to take the one trending at the foot of the paper on petrol scarcity, it says marketers to flood market with 300 million litres, and Ipman organizes over 200 billion naira debt. Kaduna refinery to begin 60% production by December, and that's according to the NNPCL. The details of that story you can find on pages 36 and 7. And a little above the nameplate, reps to NERC, Electricity Regulatory Commission, holds hike in electricity tariff. NBA threatens to sue Discos with tariff increases. Nigerians subsidizing FG's inefficiencies. That's former Vice President Atiku. Senators quarrel, point fingers over seat allocation. Details of that on page 5. And just before I take on the older story, there's Ogun government alerts residents of looming flood disaster. And moving on to the Leadership newspaper. The Leadership newspaper is also leading, I beg your pardon, just in between there is Workers' Day. Our hopes have been dashed. That's according to Labour. Details of that on page 4. But the lead story is on fuel crisis. Scarcity may worsen over 200 billion naira owed marketers. Details of that on page 4. NNPCL blames speculators, says a 30-day supply available. Lawmakers invite Tinubu, that's President Tinubu, and Lukubiri over scarcity. And there are other stories there. Of course, notable ones to mention is that northern governors brainstorm on security challenges, and okay, that will be all from the leadership. Dimola.
Okay, let me just glance through the Nigerian pilot newspaper. Just below the nameplate, we have Bayelsa government warns field team on littoral communities to expedite action. Details, page 6. Nigerian Navy rescues over 250 passengers from capsized boat. The details is on page 6. Also, the details of the 200 billion bridging claims. That is the major headline. Ipman threatens strike. Says 200 billion debts accrued since September 2022 despite payment directives by Lukubiri. Reveals that 40 days after the minister's directive, portrait sum of 13 billion was paid. The banks have taken over business premises of many of its members over unpaid loans. Regrets that many of its members have died due to collapse of their businesses. And also below that, the picture, we have Nigeria's infrastructure development requires upgrade, says Mike Onolememe. That is the former Minister of Works, your friend. Onolememe. Yes. Okay. I remember he's your friend, right?
Good. Yes.
All right, let's quickly begin. Chooks boy, just in a few minutes that we have. And I'd like us to talk about, I don't want us to talk about this salary increase because it probably would be part of what we shall discuss in the main course. But look at petrol scarcity.
Is the petrol scarcity?
Issues, yes, and the issues that are coming from the NNPCL and, you know, the independent petroleum marketers. Now, we do understand how. What do you make of it? The banters between both.
Yes, you call it banters. I call it discordant tunes coming from people who should be talking into one. When we dropped logistics issues as the reason for I said everything gets swept under logistics. It's not quite the best. I'm happy the House of Representatives are asking that the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, that's a Heineken Lukubiri, appear before them to explain why this happened. Because if we don't treat why it happened, it's likely to happen again. I said just yesterday that there are certain things we should by now not be contending with anymore. They should be in the past. Maybe, we don't know. The other time, a former Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai said government is subsidizing petroleum products to the tune of trillions and all that. Government hasn't said so, but maybe really they have a point, and there could be hiccups in getting money to get those supplies coming. Government might not want to tell us, so they don't cause a panic. Leading people is not a piece of cake. It's not a walk in the park. Sometimes you keep certain things to yourself, you know.
Yesterday,
so nobody knows. But I think they shouldn't bring about these discordant
Yes,
tunes.
I just wanted to clarify that because yesterday, energy correspondent, filed in a report,
okay,
which seemed to be an update on whatever information that we have.
Yes.
And part of what she said in that report was that the NNPC Limited is saying that it's making the clarification that look, the issue that came up bothered on distribution complexities and not of supply. It claims that we have more than enough supply to last for a
30
month,
days.
Yes, and then there are also about 5 vessels, onshore. More are being expected, so it could not have been a supply issue, and that it was a distribution complexities, but that had been resolved. That's at least that was the information contained
If
in
it's
part
been
of
resolved, so we
that
should
it has been
The-
resolved.
the good news-
Yes,
the
but the
next
issue
2-3 days, right?
Yes, but the issue that Ipman is raising is about 200 billion naira
Debt.
debt, yes.
Okay, reported debt.
Yeah, reported debt. That's
Yes.
right. And I also got information from our correspondence report that payment had started probably in batches also. So, but
It's okay, whatever it is.
if that is true,
Let's not, in the art of digging in interviews, you corner your guest and he thinks you're talking stupidity until you ask the question that really breaks his back. The point is this: whatever the
problem.
issue is, if you say it's not supply problems, it's distribution issues. I asked yesterday, is it that the trucks no longer can get diesel? They don't run on petrol. Is it that the roads suddenly got worse than they were? When you say logistics issues, it means that there has been a break in thinking and planning somewhere. You're supposed to be preemptive. You're supposed to forecast, so to speak, what's likely to be the issues you encounter in delivering a project, in delivering a service or product. So we should not be talking about
yes,
this.
I think there's much more.
That's the
want
point.
them to actually think ahead now that the rainy season is coming up and setting in, and there will be a lot of flooding
Of course,
everywhere,
yes.
and for the trucks to be able to move. We had a similar problem in 2022
Yes.
when the trucks couldn't move,
Yes.
and there was this crisis of fuel
I know
shortage.
the trucks are going to have issues, at least around the Uromi access. Well, I saw some construction going on there when I drove on that road just 2 weeks ago. I know that between Lokoja and Okbila is going to be a little problematic, and these are heavy-duty vehicles plying those roads. Let's not even talk about the annual Lokoja, overflow. The other time somebody said they saw an alligator or crocodile. I know they were exaggerating.
Chukwudi, one thing Nigerians would want is please give us the fact of what is happening.
Was that not what we've been talking about?
Let us just know, because I don't understand.
Yes.
NNPC will say this. Ipman will say
The
this.
back and forth
back and forth
is what's
thing.
really
and you keep
comes out as annoying.
Nigerians, in the dark.
It. That we've passed that stage.
Yes,
Tell
we've
us the
passed that
truth.
stage. Let us know what
You're
is happening.
human.
Exactly.
So they should talk.
Yes, let us know what it's all about. Then we all think
we said
together.
it,
It's our
was it
country.
yesterday that we said it, that nobody is talking?
Exactly.
Nobody's saying
And
anything.
that's the most debilitating aspect of it. It's not really the scarcity. We'll always forge on. We are broadcast in this country.
And talking about road, conveyance of petrol.
Yes.
I think we've come to the period when our rails, the rail modernization project is still on.
Yeah,
and if it's done and completed, on time, and the linkages connected, it will do a lot of good.
Effective freighting is done on rails,
yes,
not on road. But I like the body language of the Minister of Works, that's
Umahi.
David Umahi. He really does not like that Lokoja to Auchi, Uromi. He doesn't like it at all. The Edo State Governor was even saying, we can handle it by concession. We can do part of it and all that. So people are alarmed. It's not just that access. Other parts of Nigeria need help, just as Demola said, ahead of the rainy season. But I don't see what work can be done now. The rainy season is here.
I wish
Well,
the
we
temple...
should be thinking ahead anyway, because when the rains come, it's
an entirely different ball game.
I wish the tempo that was, the energy and tempo that was put in completing the Abuja Kaduna rail will be put also in completing the other, axis, like because the Lagos Ibadan, is a corridor on the Lagos Kano Maradi. And there are segments that have been under construction at the moment. There are other sections that have not even taken off. So if the same energy
I think one was declared open. Was it Aba Port Harcourt Rail?
That's the narrow gauge.
Narrow gauge.
That's the narrow gauge. The renovation of the narrow gauge.
It's not exactly the big thing you're looking out
Yes,
for.
yes. That's the narrow gauge. The standard gauge.
Anyway,
the standard gauge
we have to close shop now.
No, not close shop.
On the newspaper review. That's what I mean.
Close shop.
You are now talking like NNPCL and Major Energies Marketers Association.
We have to close shop on this
You're
review.
disagreeing among yourselves? I'm not here.
Newspaper review.
No, we're not disagreeing.
No,
No, I understand.
I just said we have to close shop.
Misinformation.
But no, she didn't allow me land.
Yes.
She didn't allow me
Go
land.
ahead. You're making the program interesting.
Anyway, we take a break now. Good Morning Nigeria continues. Stay with us.